Good morning, everyone. My name is Marlon Parejo, and I am totally good looking. No, totally blind. I'm, I'm totally blind. I have been blind for 6 years. I got blind on April 1st, April Fool's Day, 2011, and it was not a joke apparently. So I'm here to talk about technology for persons with visual impairment. Now, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I don't like to talk by myself. I like to engage persons as much as possible. So I am going to begin. Now, if you notice, I am controlling my PowerPoint myself. So let me just get this on. All right. Good. Yeah, just no. I'm just. We can see? Well, not everybody, but yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Right, so that there you would notice three pictures. Correct? Good. I want you to tell me which one of those individuals are blind. Can you tell? Anybody want to try to guess? Because it's mixed up, right? Huh? All three, you sure? Are you sure? One is? Anybody? Okay, all right. So you're saying some people are saying all, some people are saying one, some people are saying. Right, so it's because somebody knows. All right, cool. Well, she is correct. Every one of them have a vision impairment. But it just goes to show that people with vision impairment do not have a look. And they do not have a sound. If you would notice, my eyes look, well, for want of a better word, completely normal. And if I was sitting down in a KFC or something, you will not know the difference. So just to show that blind people are just that. People. Some like jazz music, like myself. Some like soca, like myself. Some like to drink, some like to smoke. So we are just different people with different likes and different tolerances. So let's go into what I'm here to talk about. With respect to technology, 6 years ago, if you had told me that a blind person could have used a computer or a phone or even a toilet seat, I would have said you had to be crazy. Only to realize that the information that I would have gotten, and what happens is that the problem is not necessarily the disability, but ignorance. If it is you are not aware of what is available, you will assume that it does not exist. So I'm here to tell you, I am a member of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. I have been a police officer for 16 years, and I've been blind for 6. I thought I would have lost my job, but because of technology, I did not. And as a matter of fact, I do a lot of things a lot faster than some of my sighted counterparts. So let's go into a bit of it here. Right, so under the thing of productivity, the first thing, right. Now, what I'm going to talk about here is as it relates to the use of computers. Now, when I first went to the Trinidad and Tobago Blind Welfare Association, I was informed that I can type for myself. Now, bearing in mind, I never knew how to type when I could see it. I learned to type blind. And I used a program called JAWS. No, it's not a shark. It's actually an acronym for Job Access for Windows Systems. And what it does, it's a screen reader. What it does, it allows me to interact with what is on the screen display by giving an audible output of whatever is on the screen. So if I arrow across the right, I'll hear, start button or task pane or documents folder and so on. And I am able to navigate my computer just as fast, or in some cases even faster, than a person who has sight. Now, JAWS is for Windows systems. Then there's VoiceOver for the Mac, right? Which is what I am doing the presentation from now. It's a Macintosh computer, a MacBook 11-inch. And also there's VoiceOver for like iPhones and Android phones, which is a screen reader called TalkBack, right? Oh. In addition to that, there's another screen reader called NVDA, which is non-visual desktop access, which is for free. There's system access, which is where you have to pay. So there's a whole list of screen readers that are available for persons with vision impairment that they can use in everyday life, either for leisure or for work. I obviously use it for work. Right? In addition to that, there is a lovely bit of technology called optical character recognition. That will allow a blind user to take either a scanner or the phone's camera, point it at printed text, and it reads it to you automatically. So just imagine your boy in rituals, drinking a cup of Earl Grey with a newspaper on the desk. And I'm pointing my phone at the newspaper and I'm reading the newspaper. As the presenter said before, I am going to say it more Trini. Being blind now ain't like being blind long time. That is long time thing. And as a matter of fact, the people in rituals get accustomed to be coming in every day with reading my papers, leaving the paper there for somebody else to use. 20 years ago, that was probably not possible. Right, so let's go to the next slide. Navigation. One of the problems that I would have encountered was navigation. I remember my father, he's deceased now, he would have carried me to a place called PAVI, which is Persons Associated with Visual Impairment. It's actually located in 6th Avenue, Barataria. And my rehab officer at the time, Miss Eccles, said, "How you get here?" I said, "Well, my father brought me." "Oh, so you have one of them father that's live forever?" Because at some point in time, my father will pass, and he did in fact pass. So I had to find a way to navigate. Now, the thing is that navigating has a bit of problems in that if I go with somebody, I am going to be inconveniencing them. If I go by myself without any sort of aids of any kind, I may run into some problems. If I hire a taxi, I remember I hired a taxi from where I live, which is San Juan, to where I work, which is Long Circular. That's 3 sets of transport. And I hired a taxi and it cost me $200 to reach. So when you multiply 200 by 2, and you multiply that by 5, plenty money. So because of that, we have access to, all right, hold on. Right, Blind Square. Blind Square is an application that I use on my iPhone. And what it does is that whilst I'm traveling, it'll give me the names of all of the streets that I'm crossing. So let's just say I jump in a maxi in City Gates, and you're here in Mova Junction, 7th Avenue, 8th Avenue. Because what happens, and I have friends that can attest it, is that they say, "Driver, stop in Sawa," and he forget you by the time you reach Mova Junction. So you now have to know when you reach your stop. So sometimes I say, "Yeah, I'm stopping here." He's like, "Oh, I forget you, you know." He's, "Yes, I know." Yes, I know. What it does, it gives you that. In addition to that, Blind Square has a lot of other applications to it where I can take Blind Square, and in addition, other than using my location, I can set a location like probably in Tobago. And then from that now, I can simulate that location. And from that now, I can set something called the look around feature. And everywhere that I point, it'll say to the north, so-and-so street. To the east, so-and-so street. So before I go out, I have already planned what I'm doing. Because when you're traveling as a blind person, especially if it's a place that you do not know, you need to plan. You need to know when you go there, and I'm trying to get to a library that's close by, because you know from Blind Square, that's what it is. And it also could track, and it works together with Google Maps, which is the other one, and Waze, and it'll tell you how far you are from a destination. So whilst you're walking, it's telling you all those things. So you don't necessarily need as much assistance as possible, because somebody will assist you from one place to the next, and while they're done, they're assisting you, taking your wallet out of your back pocket. So that is reality. You could say, "Oh gosh," but blind people just get robbed. Right? Right, so Waze. Right, so there's another application called Ira. Now this is a wonderful app, but it's wonderfully expensive. I'm telling you one time, technology for persons with disabilities are expensive. And people say, "But how do you go think that?" Yeah, that's just how the reality is. So how Ira works is that you get a pair of glasses from Ira. There's a camera built in, and there's a sighted person on the line assisting you while you walk, telling you exactly what's around. Now, these people are trained. These people are not some persons, and I'm not knocking all sighted people. Some sighted people, for some reason, do not have a grasp of left and right. When they say right, they really mean they're right. And many a time I've walked into a pole because somebody didn't learn left and right when they were in school. So these people are trained. And if I'm not mistaken, it's something like for 20 hours of time, it's like $200 an hour. US. Yeah. Yeah, you can watch how much you want. That's the reality of it. So that's IRA. Right? But the thing with that is that, there's always issues because, our broadband connection could be a little better. And I don't really want a chance trying that crossing the street because by the time I get bonked, it's, hey, a car's coming. Because it cut, no. Right? In addition to that, there's also an app that I didn't discover it. I knew about it, but it's now, and I'm hoping that it will be in Tobago, called Uber. Right? There was an ASP, an assistant superintendent of police, that came to my office he was transferred from Tobago, and he was shocked and appalled and amazed that I traveled to work on my own. And I was like, why? Blind people travel all the time. And I don't know how true it is, but he said that in Tobago, you hardly ever see blind persons walking on their own. I don't know if it's because they lack of pavements or whatever. Until I came for myself, and I witnessed it from the airport to here. It was who with you? Nobody. Nobody? Well, I didn't know that there's a difference between nobody and nobody. And it's a shock because they're not accustomed to it. Now, Uber is a taxi service. And I'm pretty sure you all have heard about it in the news. There are issues with respect to the legalities of it and so on. But other than that, I can actually take my phone and request an Uber that's close by. When the person receives the request, I get to hear their name, I get to hear their vehicle number, I get to hear the vehicle type, and I know that they're coming for me. I can even, to the top, I will hear ETA, 2 minutes, and so on, so I know to get ready. They pick you up, they carry you straight to your destination and back. Now, it is more expensive than traveling, obviously, but you are safe because you're traveling by your lonesome. I like to travel in the back seat because I like the chauffeur feel. And I sit in the back with my laptop. I don't have to worry anybody going to snatch my laptop from me and so on and things like that. And I'm there. I can tell the Uber driver, listen, I don't like that thing you're listening to there. Can I have some jazz or something like that? And that will be that. You understand? So you have that. Now, what I'm saying is that because of Uber, there's a lot of things that I could do now that I couldn't have done just the other day. I have a 13-year-old daughter. And I came home from work and said, hey, put on some clothes. Trace the mall. She was like, really? And we gone because we pick up an Uber and we left. We came back after 11. The problem with persons with visual impairment liming late is that where you getting the transport to come back home? Because you're calling this one, he ain't answering because you're, gosh, I'm tired, I'm sleepy. You're calling the next one, he had problems with his phone and so on and things like that. But because of Uber now, I went with my daughter, which was a much needed interaction that I needed to have with my daughter because we were walking through Trinity and she was wrap up on me like I was her boyfriend. I said, well, better she wrap up on me and she wrap up on some other boy. You understand? So because of Uber, I'm a lot more independent now. If I feel like going on the road, I can call and think whatever. I mean, yes, I can travel, but there's always the thing with respect to, the roads and stuff. And I mean, in my house, things don't move, but in the streets, dustbins moves and poles grow out of the ground from nowhere and things like that. So that's it for navigation. Right, let's go into leisure. All right, let me just get my notes here. Right, so I'm pretty sure that you all are familiar with audiobooks. Right, it's just somebody reading a book to you. Yes, but I love it immensely. But are you aware that there are audio-described movies? I had no idea. Don't feel bad because I didn't know about it 6 years ago. There are actually movies that will allow a blind person to enjoy a movie. I can sit down right here and explain to you almost frame for frame Matrix and Game of Thrones as if I see it. Yes, and because what happens is that the same way that it has closed captioning for persons with hearing impairment, there is audio descriptions for persons with visual impairment. What it does is that when the dialogue stops, the narrator explains what's going on. So they'll say, so-and-so picks up a gun and checks it and chambers around and all these good stuff. And I am able to enjoy movies immensely. My wife says it's unfair. And I'll tell you why. Because when we are doing chores, when Miss Lady watching her Lifetime, she has to wait on a commercial to continue what she was doing. I don't. I put my headset in my ear and I will listen to every single Lord of the Rings and not miss a beat. I'm sweeping, I'm washing dishes, I'm washing clothes, and I listen to my movie normal. She says it's so unfair. It's unfair. You understand? And that's basically with respect to that. There are comic books for blind individuals. There are games for blind people. And watch me, I ain't talking about no card game, solitaire. No. I'm talking about driving game, hockey game, shooting zombie game. Trust me, I would suggest that they come to me during the demonstration, and I'll put that headset in your ears, and you will be shocked. You hearing zombies coming to eat you, and they're getting closer, and trust me, just don't drop my phone. Out of fright, yeah. Right, so that's with respect to leisure. Social media, that's the most exciting part. Blind persons are on Facebook, Skype, WhatsApp, anything you can think of. Now the thing is that these applications are not necessarily blind concentrated. They happen to be applications that everybody uses, but it just happens to be accessible. Accessibility meaning that anyone can use it. So I am able to go on Facebook, or some people call it Fastbook, Maku and see what my friend Asenat doing, Bartok Asenat with my other friend Tessa, and now see so and so on. There's another application called Vorail. Now that is initially an app that was initially for dating, but a lot of blind people use it. And I'm just using voice notes. And I'm speaking to blind people all over the world. You can remember a long time when you had to go in a international calling center and sit down and pay your money and call people. Now you could just pick up something, go and call, so. I remember there was a time my daughter, the same 13-year-old, she had an issue with her Spanish homework. And there was a word that she did not know. Now obviously with Spanish I'll be a little problem because when I use the screen reader, it's set to English. You wouldn't believe what I did. I said, well, I'll call someone. She's like, well, who are you going to call? My friend Angelina. From where? From Spain. I called Angelina in Spain to ask her a question about a Spanish word. Don't you think that's literally coming out of the horse's mouth? Do you understand? So it's like, hello? Yes? You want to know? Oh, I see. You understand? In addition to that, there's applications for all sorts of things. But social media obviously it's sometimes a lot of time is wasted, but it's social media. What are you going to expect? Right, as in respect to lifestyle, we have like Braille displays. Now a lot of people, I don't know why, a lot of people form the opinion that Braille is outdated. It's not, actually. The traditional form of Braille is where you have like a little book like this. When it's transcribed in the Braille, it becomes big like this. As a Braille display, obviously, the things with that. What happens is that the dots in Braille is represented by pins that go in and out. So it refreshes ever so often. You arrow down the key, you arrow down, and it goes to the next line, and that whole line of Braille changes to another line. So you can pair a Braille display with your phone, you can pair a Braille display with your computer, you can even have like a number of books on a SD card and put it on your Braille display, and you can read to your heart's content. I remember there was a time that a friend of mine asked me, why don't you bring your Bible to church? I said, a Bible in Braille is a big thing, And they said, no, but I saw it on, what's the name of the show? The Book of Eli, it ain't so big. And that's the problem with the media. They tend to make this disability look a little bit different because, like, for example, in the Book of Eli, he had one book. In truth and in fact, a Bible in Braille is 26 books. This big. So if I have to go to church with a book in Braille, with a Bible in Braille, I have to walk with a wheelbarrow. Or call the pastor and ask him, hey, what passages you going to be talking from? Because I want to know what book to bring. Yeah. Now the Braille display alleviates that. However, it's expensive. A good braille display is about 5,000 US. You literally have to sell a car to get a braille display. Why it's so expensive, I do not know. So I'm hoping that somebody who knows a lot about technology could figure it out and get it done for cheaper. With respect to accessibility, I believe that persons who do not make things accessible, if there are business people in here, you all are shooting yourself in the foot. Because although we may want more money than we presently have, our money is the same value as yours. So if it is you leave out including persons with visual impairment in your business, not in your business, with respect to your marketing and so on, you are losing money. Because my dollar bill, the Scarlet Ibis and the Coquelicot do have shades and a cane. Mine dollar doesn't worth 75 cents and yours worth $1. It's the same dollar. So like, for example, I'm listening to an advertisement, a commercial on television, about some storage solution. And I say, hey, they start to explain how it goes up in the wall and the board scene. And I say, yes, I want that. I say, if you want one now, call now. The number on your screen. You're shooting yourself in the foot. So I have no clue what the number is. So my money stays in my pocket. And I don't know who to call to get the number because nobody home. You understand the problem? That is the problem indeed. All right, so as I said, we have a problem. Now take a look at those prices and those numbers. Yes, right. The network that I use to listen to or to describe movies is $150 US a year, which is not so bad when you come to think about it. But a braille display costs a lot of money. The MacBook that I have here cost me $11,000. And not everyone has the families that will come together and put up money to buy something for them. There are some people that live on their own. I know some young ladies that live on their own. And now if you look at all of those lovely things, you only say US, USA, but notice at the bottom, disability grant, 1,800 TT. That ain't even the rent. It ain't even the lights. And don't even talk about food. So the thing is that these bits of technology make you a lot productive. I use my laptop at work, but I have a Bluetooth keyboard that pairs with 3 devices. All I need to do is press a button and it switches to the device. I press another button and it switches to the device. So most of the time when I'm at work, the computer's in front of me, my iPad is to the left, my iPhone is to the right, and I have one keyboard. I'm controlling all 3 of them. Because of the fact that I listen to my computer, that means I don't need to be next to my computer. Very often I am in the eating room, the kitchen, whilst I'm working on my desktop all the way in my office. Many times. The lovely thing about the use of the computer, I can blank off the screen, like what you saw just now when you saw the screen as blank. I just have to press a keyboard combination and the whole screen goes blank, which sort of kind of annoys people where I work because they can't peek over and I don't have to spend money on a privacy screen and those things. But what I'm saying is that I am highly efficient because I am not distracted by sight. Yes. You would realize that if you employ someone with a visual impairment, you realize you'll have somebody who will hold on for their life because just getting a job that pays well is so rare that you're going to have a loyal person. 2, you would not be surprised that if they are trained enough, they can do a lot of things a lot faster. I have sighted people who ask me to type out things for them. Because as I said, I learned to type, and this is police, I learned to type one finger before, and then when I got blind, I typed the correct way. And there are still people typing. I want to know how you're going to type a 15-page document with one finger. In addition to that, I also have apps. I have an app called Text Expander that all I need to do is input a snippet, type in 2 letters, and it expands out. And you'll see that in the demonstration as well. I'm writing a book in an app called Scrivener. So all of these things are available now because of the technology. It's not like how it used to be a long time. So let's go into the recommendations. Income generation and ignorance. The problem with respect to visual impairment is that a lot of people are ignorant of what is available. They do not know that you can type. They do not know that you can create documents. They do not know that you can do PowerPoint presentations in front of sighted people and handle yourself quite well. They're not even sure that you can dress appropriately. Because I have done this already in front of members of parliament. The only issue that I have is that they are more interested in how I'm doing the PowerPoint rather than the PowerPoint itself. That's the only issue, right? So as it relates to ignorance, now the problem with ignorance is that, and I'm saying this really with a heavy heart, that I have colleagues with visual impairment that have degrees, 2 master's degrees. And I ain't talking about the degree where you buy deodorant, where you buy anymore. I'm talking about real full-fledged degrees. And they go to interviews, and all the employer sees is the cane. They don't see anything else. And half of the time, these people are more qualified than the sighted people next to them. But because there's this block stating, oh gosh, no, that means I have to buy this, I have to buy that. I remember there's a time somebody asked me to come to the office, and I said, no problem. And they said, but I have a problem, So what's that? I have stairs. Really? Really? And when I went there, he had 3 stairs. 3! Do you understand? And this is really, it's really ignorance. And the thing, it's bad. So as it relates to education, we want persons with vision impairment, children, to have more ambition other than just settling for making baskets. Now, nothing is wrong with the basket industry. I'm serious. Nothing is wrong. But what if I want to do something else? Suppose I don't want to do that. When I first got blind, I stood crying in front of Mount Hope because I thought it's basket for me. But ignorance is the enemy. Ignorance is the enemy. No, nothing is wrong with it, but you see, what happens when you have access to information, access to the internet? Most of the information I got was from outside of my country, which is wrong. I got it from people in the States. They say, you could do this, right? You could do that, right? You could do this, right? I think, what, really? Seriously? And all of these things is what was made available because of the information age. You have no excuse. Anything you ask, from time they say, man, how you do so-and-so? Google it. Yeah, just Google it. Chances are you'll find it. You understand? So we want persons to be educated, to be trained. A person shouldn't have to feel that they don't have to go to university. They can go. As long as they have the tools in order to get them there, they can go, they can have their textbook, and they can scan it, or the persons creating the textbooks can make it digital. As the presenter before said, when it's digital, it's accessible to everyone. As long as it's soft copy, I can read it. So it's as simple as that. And obviously, because of the fact that the person doesn't want to employ you because they do not know or care whether you can do what you say you can do, then the whole cycle continues. Go disability grant, and back and forward and forward. So as related to the recommendation, we need some of these technologies to be subsidized. There is a braille display right now from the American Printing House from the blind that is $450 US. And trust me, that is extremely cheap from how it was before with $5,000 and $8,000 US. Because of that, now the thing is that I can listen to my laptop while the lecture is going on, but I have to split my attention between the laptop and him. If I have a braille display, I can read quietly with my fingers and I can listen to the individual. So just imagine if the state were to subsidize braille displays for everyone, all students, and they can use it to their benefit. Are you aware how many braille displays presently are in Trinidad? I think about 4. Yeah, and one I walk in. It's just there that you could touch in the library. And that's the issue. It must have advocacy. People must be sensitized as it relates to dealing with persons with visual impairment. As I said, I've been blind for 6 years, but I've realized that most sighted people are afraid to interact with persons with visual impairment because they just don't know. I was assisted by someone and she was shaking because she was of the opinion that somehow if I bumped into something, or if my foot hit something, if I fall somewhere, that she'll automatically go to hell. And so it's just a matter of learning, listen to the blind individual, and you will be educated. The other thing is that, I know for a fact that the audience here will not do that. If you are making something for a person with a disability, it might be a good idea to consult with the person with disability, because they make things and they assume that, and that's the problem with that. You understand? So we want That inclusion, we want that advocacy for people to understand that these things are, and it is only right that we come together, unify. You would be surprised what we can contribute to society. You would be surprised. Not because that we have a disability, that doesn't mean that we should be swept aside, left to the end. As you would have heard from me, I have a lot to offer, and I'm of the opinion that my time is almost up. So I'm going to give you my slide here with my contact information. That's my phone number, that's my email address. I have a blog. I would suggest that you do not eat while reading this blog because you will choke. You will laugh and you will choke. All right, I also have, my colleagues and I, we won a competition from I think it's the Caribbean Center for some Innovation, and we came up with an idea called Blind Way Forward, meaning that, as we said, the problem is ignorance. So if we get the information that I learned after 6 years into one package, a lot of people will benefit, and then eventually benefit the entire nation as a whole. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.